Oh, helps if I share my screen. This one. Right. So, you legends we're basically in the 8-week countdown until the end of the year. And well done for all being here because you're still showing up for yourselves. You're still putting in the work. But this is the point in the year where it is a slippery slope. And you've got your two options: crack the fuck on and do the work, get it done, or become like everybody else who does not. And we obviously don't want that. So, as of October, this was yesterday, but we've still got 20% of the year left, which for perspective is 1/5. And that is still an enormous amount of time to make huge amount of changes. Like some of you ladies will go on to drop pretty much the best part of a stone in the next 8 weeks. And the consideration here is that like you don't want to slow down. This is the time. I think it's arguably the most important part in the year, because if you can do it when it's colder, when it's darker, when we're all fighting off germs and illnesses, and also like some of you guys might have kids on half term at the minute, and then you'll have kids off at the Christmas holidays. If you can do it during these hardest points in the year, then you genuinely are setting yourself up for an enormous amount of success, because we're not over here to create short-term fitness goals. We're out here to genuinely create a lifestyle and to change your lives for the future, for the better. And there's one thing I always say every single time I speak to any woman that comes into this program on the phone: we don't ever want you guys to have to go back to the point that you felt like you were in before you came to us. And this is where it's so important to go through all of the seasons. But I would definitely say this is the one that will make the biggest impact to the rest of your lives, as long as you make sure. And again, we're not aiming for perfection. We're just aiming to keep chipping away at those goals, chipping away at the weeks, and chipping away at the days. Even if you have a difficult challenge, you don't need to allow that to then go, right, I'm going to write the rest of the year off. That is not what we are about here. We want those lifestyle changes and development so that you can genuinely maintain this level of standard throughout the rest of the year, throughout the rest of your life, throughout the rest of your time in the Strong Her program. Like, it is honestly the most vital point in the year. And for some perspective, I would say it's around 25 to 30% of people who pretty much stop or fall off their fitness routines from October through December. These statistics are taken from the gyms. So most people start to cancel their gym memberships at this point in the year. 25 to 30% of people. And again, for more perspective, that's 25 to 30% of people who actually started in the first place. So you guys are already in the top 5% of women around the world who are actually doing something to sustainably change your lives. And then of that 5%, an enormous proportion, a quarter to a third of people are going to slow down at this time of year. And let me tell you, it's a dog shit way of looking at it. We do not want to be in that proportion of people. Like, it's genuine. It's not the Strong Her way. It's not the you guys way. It's not the way that you really are going to shape your life. So we do not want to fall into being that statistic, but it's so easy to start sliding on these habits. We start wearing more clothing. You start to see your body more. You start to think, well, okay, nobody's really seeing me at this time of year. Nobody will notice if I start to slip or put a few pounds on. Like, no, that is not what we want to be doing over here. To me, It's genuinely, like I say, the most important time of the year to crush your goals. And a lot of you guys might have seen my reel earlier where I made it clear, like we started our fitness journey years ago in November because we point blank refused to be the people that put it off until January. And the statistics for the people that start in January who drop away, like genuinely, I'd even consider completely closing my books in January and going, nope, I'm not working with you guys because you're probably already in the mindset of going, yeah, I'll just drop away in February. And they're not the kind of women that I want to work with. I want to work with the people that go, no, this is something that actually I want to do in the difficult months of the year to prove to myself that I actually can do this. We don't want the new year, new me kind of attitude because again, they're going to drop away by February. They're probably not serious about their goals, but all of you guys are in here for a reason. And that's why we want to crush your goals. And the very fact that you've taken this up in different months of the year and you didn't wait until January, we want to keep that momentum high so that we can absolutely finish 2024 in the strongest possible place. And you've got 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, 20 weeks, however long you guys have been in the program, you've got an enormous head start on 2025. Some of you have got wedding goals. Some of you guys just want to feel better in your skin. You want to drop the body fat. You want to tone up. You want it to be healthier. You want to live as long as you possibly can for your children, for your grandchildren. So it's about really drilling into why you even came into this, like this whole process in the first place, and capitalizing on that energy and seeing the rest of this year out strong. Another thing I would get you to do is really think about what do you actually want to achieve between now and Christmas? Really sit and take a moment to think, right, what do I actually want to get between now and the end of 2024? What would you be happy with as a goal? Start putting it in the group chat. What would you guys actually genuinely like to achieve between now and 2025 or Christmas? What is a big goal for you guys to go, right, okay, you know what, I would, that's the point that I want to get to by the end of this year. I can't actually see them because we're on full screen mode, but I will come back to them. But keep populating the chat, keep putting it in, like, what's your guys' goal to actually go, right, we've got 8 weeks. What's realistic for me? What do you want to do? Is it a fat loss goal? Is it something in the gym or something in your home program? You want to be able to do, I don't know, a 30 kilo RDL. You want to be able to do your first pull up, or you might want to drop 10 pounds in the next 8 weeks, or you might want to get into a new stone bracket. There's a million and one different goals, but really try and get super fucking specific about what you actually want to achieve by Christmas. Because again, the more you can dial into that mindset and go, right, this is exactly what I'm trying to achieve, then we can actually make that happen. Summer bodies are created in the winter. So this is a really important saying, and we say it in the fitness industry all of the time, that actually, if you've got a goal to go, right, I want to be in great shape, feel really good about myself for my next holiday, which might be June, July, August, September. It might even be this time next year. I know a lot of you ladies who are more recent into the program, you've been away in the last kind of 4 to 6 weeks. How do you want to feel different to how you felt this summer holiday for next year? Because that's an enormous amount of time. Like, so much can happen in literally the next 6 to 9 months, which is crazy depending on the goals that you've got. But this is where digging in during the harsher months, during the winter months, and preparing yourself for that goal for next summer. Because most of you ladies, whether it's a staycation or a holiday abroad, you will want to be feeling an incredible way by then, and you've got so much time. But that won't happen if you drop away now. If you fall into that category of people who just don't take action or slow down and start to go, yeah, you know what, we're going to start buying the Christmas food, we're going to start putting it away in cupboards. And then you know what happens? Everyone starts to get the Pringles out early. Everybody starts to get the chocolates out early. You start to have Christmas parties. All of these different things start to impact. And what we want to do is go, right, okay, I'm going to be sensible. I'm going to find a level of balance here over the coming months so that next year I can absolutely fucking crush it. Am I prepared to maybe make a few sacrifices this season so that actually in the coming seasons I will be able to live my life to its absolute fucking fullest and I will feel the best that I have ever felt? Am I prepared to take a little bit of a hit in the shorter term so that long term I'm going to be in the most incredible place that I have been for years? And it genuinely is magical to see that happen when you go through those seasons and you reach those goals. And you guys going on holiday next year, like I literally, as your coach, and I know Kat would say the same thing, it's the most incredible thing for us to witness. Some of you guys even experienced that this year. Like Victoria, for instance, when you shared that photo in the group chat, do you know, some of you guys have already experienced a phenomenal amount of change, but then put a year on that. Put 6 months, 9 months, 3 more months, like put all of that together and just envision what that can actually mean for your future, because it really can. So much can happen in that time. And remember that health and fitness, it's not seasonal. This is not something that, okay, fat loss, arguably, once you reach a goal, yeah, you know what? Happy days. And I went through that. I went through a big fat loss phase where I was like, right, okay, we put on a load of timber during lockdown. Not particularly happy with that. That was probably the worst for our health and fitness and mental health in there as well during lockdown as we've ever had in our entire lives. Like Thomas and I have always been really active, and suddenly we just weren't during lockdown. We were sharing a bottle of wine every night. We weren't in a great place mentally. We were in the most challenging part of our business, very incredible, but very, very mentally exhausting. Like the things that we were doing during lockdown, it definitely meant that we put our health and fitness on the back burner. And we decided, no, that November came around and we were like, we're going to make a change now. We're going to go hell for leather on this, and we're actually going to make it a sustainable year-long thing. So this is also where when you get sick, over here. But when you get sick, when you go on holiday, when these odd days, these odd weeks, you start to go, you know what, I can't give it my absolute all. It becomes okay, because then you start to think, you know what, it doesn't actually matter now, because there are 52 weeks in this year. If I'm not as well on this week, or I've got big commitments this week, or actually the odd day where you just feel like you undo a little bit, that's fine, because you recognize this is something that we chip away at for the rest of time. And like I say, whether your goals are in terms of that fat loss piece, and then you want to build the muscle, you want to create a completely different body composition piece, all of that is incredible. But it's not just a 2 month thing. It's not just a 3 month thing. You guys want to be sustaining the hard work and effort that you are creating for yourselves. You want to be able to keep that going for the rest of time. So just remember that it's not seasonal. And even if you do have a little bit of a blip here and there over the next 8 weeks, that's okay. Again, just reach out to us. Like some of you ladies are going through some really difficult personal battles at the moment, some really difficult life-changing events. It's also the colder season where, again, unfortunately, some family members, some friends, some people aren't going to make it through this season. If you've got older grandparents, like it's okay to have down points. It's okay to not. But what I experienced today is so many of you guys, if you're going through a bit of the shit, you're not reaching out to us. Like I'm reaching out to you to say, is everything okay? Because you didn't do your check-in last week, or is everything okay? Because I've just felt you be a bit quieter in the community. And then actually everything's not okay. There's like this whole world of shit that you're trying to navigate on your own. But we are here for you guys. even some of the personal shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've had the most raw conversations with a few of you different ladies today. And it's like, we are here for you to navigate how we can tweak the approach, how we can make it work for you. So, again, lean into us as your coaches, even if you can find yourself sliding or slipping, or maybe not quite as intent as you found it in the summer and you're just finding it a bit more difficult, then there are different things that we can do, and we can tweak things around you and around your commitment. So again, just work with us and lean into the process, guys. But we are strong here, and we are made up of women who succeed, and we do not give up. No matter what, we may face these uphill battles. We may, like I say, we may get sick. We may have these different life events going on. But the one thing we do not do is give up. We do not throw in the towel. You reach out to your coaches, you reach out to your community, you all pick each other up, you all make each other know that you are there to support one another, because that is what we do inside of this program. We cheerlead and we support, we encourage, we push each other forward, because that's what good women do for one another. We are always there to make sure that we keep chipping away together. We don't want anybody to feel like they're out on their own. That is not the point of this. We want to be here every single step of the way. Right, I'm going to have a look at some of your guys' chat. Let me have a look. So I'd like to lose more body fat. We want that to be more specific, Joe. So how much body fat? How much do you want to drop? Do you know what I mean? Is it like, what is the specific goal between now and Christmas? So I'd like to get to the 60-ish kilo club by Christmas. Nice. I love that. That's an amazing goal. A minimum of 10 pounds by Christmas. Again, totally achievable, but it is going to require that hard work. It's going to require that discipline. It's going to make, like, you've got to make sure that you're putting the effort in. Lose more body fat and develop more muscle definition. Again, try and make that more specific, Laura. So how much body fat do you want to lose? Obviously, muscle definition, we will be able to visually see that coming through, and that will be amazing. Lose more body fat and tone probably 3 or 4 kilos. Yeah, that's nice by Christmas. That's bang on as well, just under that 10 pounds mark. That's really ideal. Lose as much body fat, Ree. So yeah, I'm really happy to see you here, Ree. This is it. This is an example of leaning into the community and going, I do not give up, no matter what shit you're going through, no matter how hard times get. We lean in, we pick each other up, and we move forward. So well done for showing up for yourself and coming to the chat. Another 5 kilos. That's perfect. I like that. Want to be able to post that Christmas Day 2024 caption. Oh, honestly, I think they're going to make me really emotional. I'm going to be like, I'll be a blubbering mess on Christmas Day, messaging you all. Like, for some of you guys, by the way, who we probably did this before you joined the program, but we got all of the women to write out exactly what you want to be saying to yourself and reflecting on Christmas Day. And we got everybody to share them either to me or into the group chat or to Cat Direct. And they were magical. So we'll probably revisit that exercise for anyone that obviously
What are you doing?
Who was that? Was that Cat? I don't even know who that was. Have the confidence to go into the gym. I think this came just to me, Claire, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, okay, yeah. So sometimes if you're on a mobile, sometimes it goes to somebody specific, not the whole group. But yeah, that's an amazing goal. That is an amazing goal. And the gym can feel like this big, like monster, because I know quite a few women who come into the program. Some of you guys just prefer the idea of training from home, and there's absolutely no issues with doing that. And some of you guys are going, it's that mindset of going, I don't feel comfortable in the gym yet, because you feel like you've got to reach a certain target or a certain goal weight before you feel like you can go into the gym. Or it might even just be the gym scaries where it just feels like an uphill battle. But this is it. When you start to compound these really positive affirmations, these really good feel good feelings that you're making successes every single week, then you start to really feel like a bad bitch. And then you go, yeah, I'm going to get into the gym because I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait to overcome that next hurdle. But we build up to this stuff and that's it. And that's a great goal to have. Like, right, by Christmas, I will have stepped foot in the gym. If that's a goal that you want to achieve, then that absolutely is achievable. How would we know how much body fat we could lose specifically? So, a lot of you guys, I would say a pound a week is achievable. Some of you guys will drop a little bit faster. Some of you guys will drop a bit slower. Sometimes you'll have better weeks than others. Again, you might be navigating different events. Sometimes you might drop a bit more at the beginning and then think, right, okay, and we might slow it down. So I've just slowed Victoria's down a little bit because she's feeling fatigued. She's feeling the exhaustion. She's dropping body fat at a far faster rate. So we've gone, actually, we'll just bring it down a tiny little bit just so that you can actually, because we need to fuel our bodies. You can drop the weight super fucking fast and then actually you're just going to put yourself into that binge eating territory where then you want to eat everything in fucking sight and then you want to do all of the hard work. We don't want that. We want it to be sustainable. We want it to be manageable. So a pound a week is reasonable. But again, it's also going to depend how sedentary a person is. So again, if I take Victoria as an example, she was really sedentary when she came into Strong Her. Now she isn't. So now she gets to eat more food and still drop body fat really quickly because she's now more active. So all of these things, they kind of play a part. But I would say for a lot of you guys, then 1 kilo a week so that's 2.2 pounds. That's high. That's high. And I would say again, like that is it. The danger is that you undereat at that level and you're not fueling your body. You are going to feel exhausted. You are going to feel like fucking hell now. Now, some of you ladies have dropped that quickly. At the beginning, it is possible because you're going to lose the water weight. Post holiday, it's possible you're going to lose the water weight, but actually water weight, that's less relevant. It's the body fat that we actually want to be losing. So this is where your high protein diets come into play because that is holding on to the muscle. The lifting piece is important because that's holding on to the muscle, but we obviously want to be dropping the body fat. So that's why you're in the deficit, to try and drop the body fat in the first place. But I'd say consistently 1 kilo a week is quite a lot. But again, I'd say that's really person specific. And this is where your check-ins are really important, because if you're managing that and it's okay, and for some of you ladies, it might be okay. You might feel okay on that. For some of you, like Chin, if we take you as an example, when your calories were quite low, you were really like, you were feeling like you're basically fainting. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we can't have. That's not going to be sustainable. It's not going to be long-term. So this is where it's very, very individual to the person that is obviously on the journey. It's also some of you guys, again, we have to undo some of the psychology. We have to undo some of the years of behavioral habits that you've built up over the time. Like the binge eating as an example. Like if I take your calories too low as a coach and that eliminates all of your ability to have any snacks, any of the foods that you love, and there's no enjoyment in anything that you have, and you literally come down to like your 3 meals a day and nothing more. For some of you ladies, that would be like, it would be quite a dangerous strategy, and it's just not something that we're prepared to coach anyone in. That we would rather you have a bit more food freedom, a bit more flexibility, so that actually we can get control of those like behavioral habits, and then we can obviously get back to building you to where you need to be. Yeah, that's it. So we don't want that. So 1 kg is a lot, and that's not where we want to be. We want to be in that healthy kind of £1 a week range, give or take. And again, that like you might see it during your cycle where you don't drop the body fat that week, but then you drop a lot more the week after your cycle has ended. Again, that's when you're likely to see a big dip come off, but then you might see a week where you don't see anything. You might even see a slight increase on the scales because your hormones, your water retention during that time, again, is another factor to play. Yeah, it's probably a bit too much, I'd say, for the average lady in the program. You just want to, we don't want to be going at that rate. It's just, yeah, you'll waste away and you'll have absolutely no energy. You'll be fatigued and it's just not conducive to good long-term results. But I really like all of those. I think they're all incredible. So does anybody have any questions at this point? Does anybody have any struggles? Does anybody have anything that over the next 8 weeks or over the winter months that you're a little bit worried about, or that might be playing on your mind, or that you might be struggling with, that actually this is the perfect time to air it? And again, this is a safe space. There's no judgment here. But does anybody have anything that they think, oh, this could derail me a little bit at this time of the year, so I'd rather talk it through? Just ask when workout programs change update. You guys do not read your emails. I think I've answered this about 8 times. It's always in your email, by the way, as soon as you join, unless you haven't had it yet. But I'm pretty sure everyone on here has. It's only really new people. No, you're all right. I don't mind answering it. So it's every 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the phase that you are in. So I have a log of where every single one of you is at, what phase you are moving into. The changes that can make it a bit different or seem a bit different is if you go on holiday and I think, right, okay, you've not been able to maximize that week, or if I know you've been poorly, again, I might hold off a week. Jo is an example. She's going through physio at the moment. So again, if I change her entire program, she's not going to be able to capitalize on the new things. Like we're working, she's got a physio, working alongside that, working on the upper body things while she gets recovered. So there are considerations that we take into account. But for most of you, early doors, it will be 4 weeks initially. And then as you get a bit stronger, as you get a bit more advanced in your lifting, that's when we're likely to kind of go, right, okay, we're going to move it into a 5-week or a 6-week program phase. So, but a lot of them, for where you guys are at, I think probably everybody here, then it's every 4 weeks. And again, if you're not logging it, if you're not doing it, I'm not going to make that change because you've not actually achieved what we've set out to do. So every phase is designed where you're at to progress and to move on. So if you've not completed the first phase or the second phase or the third phase, then it's really bad for me to then switch it into another phase because you haven't reached the strength and achievement that we need you to get through. So again, that's a consideration. 4th week, haven't had a change yet, but it's coming. It will be this weekend, Laura. Yeah, so if you're in your 4th week, you should do 4 weeks and then it'll change. Does that make sense? Yeah, perfect. So I imagine it'll be this weekend. They always usually change at a weekend. I usually sit and go through everything on a Sunday, build out new programs, work out who's doing what and where it should be. And again, I'm just checking to make sure that you've done everything that we should be doing. But yeah, does anybody else have any other questions? Anything that you think might derail you, anything you want to ask at all at this point? So otherwise I'm going to bed.
Can I ask it's probably a really silly question.
Yeah.
But I'm a workout at home girl, as you know. Does it matter that I work out barefoot? I don't put any trainers on because it's in an upstairs room, so it's not like on a garage floor or anything like that.
I mean, Becky might tell you otherwise. This was hilarious. What did she do? You know, the leg swings where it's a warm up, isn't it? So she was doing the leg swings and she had a dumbbell left in a really weird place and she kicked it and it landed on a little toe and she broke a little toe. So that's the downside to training barefoot, is that you've got nothing to protect your foot. So if something's going to land on it, whereas if you obviously had some footwear on, then you're less likely to have that issue, basically. There will be a bit of something between you and something that could well land on it. But in terms of actually lifting, it's way more beneficial to have a flat foot. So if any of you that saw my stories today, a lot of the footwear I lift in is totally impractical. 10 out of 10, you should not be doing it. And the reason I do it, like, I'm an experienced lifter. I know where my feet should be placed. I know how to counteract if I've got a slight heel on my trainer. Like, I know how to do that. But for you guys, things like Vans, things like Converse, things like Nike Airs, anything that's got almost a pretty much flat sole or barefoot, you will see me training barefoot. I nearly did it today for RDLs because I'm always conscious that people are watching my stories to basically emulate it. And I'm like, should not be wearing these trainers. So I almost took them off, but this is it. It's like anything barefoot is fine. It's just being really mindful that if something, you don't want to break your toe like Becky, basically. But it's not actually a bad thing. No, you just don't want to cause an injury.
Perfect.
Any other questions? No? Right, I'm going to assume you are all good, but well done for showing up for yourselves. Let's absolutely fucking, like, it's non-negotiable to me. We all finish 2024 on the highest of heights. This is, you ladies are you're on the pedestal. You guys are the ones who show up for yourselves. You do the work, you do the check-ins, you communicate with us. You're the ones who are the success stories. You're the ones that we want to take all the way to the fucking top. So we go out 2024 with a bang and we start 2025 in the best possible way. You've all got what it takes. Let's fucking go. Mwah. Love you all. Bye.
Feel better
Bye.
soon.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.